Hi there, my name is Celia Beck, and you're the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And this is the second review of the Nemo trilogy, the second of, trilogy of three. That would make sense. You'd only get three in a trilogy. I put my first review out yesterday. I'm going to put my third review out tomorrow. I was going to do this as one, but I did the first review. It was like 20 minutes long. So I figured, even if I rush all three of them together would end up being like 40 minutes an hour. I think I'll just make them individual ones so we can go into a little bit more detail and appreciate it. So again, this is the review of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen by Alan Moore and Kevin O'Neill. Nemo, the Roses of Berlin. Before we get to it though, can I ask you guys, can you hit the subscribe button? Can you hit the like button? Can you hit the share button? All those things are very good. I am going to be doing quite a bit more comic book reviews. I just, it's really kind of dumb, but I just worked out I should really put the pictures of the comic books up with me as I review. And so once I had that, I was like, oh, right. My only problem is I like my knowledge of contemporary superheroes is limited. Honestly, I kind of fell out them in about 2015 when they got really bad. But I got a large look behind me, large comic book collection behind me. So I'll be going through a bunch of them. If there's anything you guys want me to review, just let me know. Let me know in the chat and in the comments. Also, if you're a comic skaters, get in contact. I want to highlight your book. I want to interview you about it. I want to talk about it. I want to promote it. I want to help you sell it. I'm really into comic skate. I really like it a lot. Please get in contact. But most of all, hit the subscribe button. And if you subscribe, you are eligible to enter my weekly competition. So the competition this week is going to be, it's been going for 2 weeks. It's going to be the Godfather DVD Collection, the fantastic box set. All three Godfather movies. Yeah, I know the third one was not much cop, but it's still actually kind of interesting hearing Coppola talk about it. There's lots of documentaries, so you really get to see where they're coming from making it. And again, outtakes, audition stuff. It's really it's actually really interesting. Is watching Robert De Niro auditioning for James Caan's role. I love that footage. It's really good. All you need to do to win it is subscribe to the channel and in the comments leave the hashtag "You broke my heart, Fredo." You broke my heart, Fredo. Fine, let's talk about the. But there's also a Judge Dredd audio story you can download in the video notes. You need to subscribe to that. Well, guys, come subscribe. All you need to do to listen to that is download it. You don't need to win it at all. It's called Judge Dredd Death Trap. It was made by a company called Big Finish, and it's really very good. It's out of print. It's out of license. You can't buy one. You can't buy a physical one. You can't buy a digital. I would just say, if you download it, you listen to it and enjoy it, please go to Big Finish. The company made it. If they ever get the license back, which they're not going to do, but please go there and buy yourself a digital copy. It'll be reasonably cheap. And look, if they don't get it back and you download and enjoy it, go there anyway. They're a great company. And they got a lot of stuff which is pretty darn cheap. Fine. So let's get to the review. Let me just turn it on. Doink. There you go. So, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, if you haven't read it before, is essentially an amalgam, a super team of 19th century literary genre figures. It had Mina Harker, the woman from Dracula, Captain Nemo, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Basically all together in one super group. The first volume of it is like it's kind of just a fun romp with in this fictional universe. As it goes on, it gets more dense and more complex, as Alan Moore is really building this very intricate, this fiction verse, this universe that reflects our verse, but made up of the fiction that came out over the last 150 years. Or actually, much longer. But, so he's much more concerned with that. And it gets very dense and very complex. So this Nemo trilogy is a bit of a return to form, a return to just fun, engaging storytelling, which this is. Each one of these books is just a fun, engaging romp. So it concerns Janny, the daughter of Captain Nemo, who becomes Captain Nemo. She starts a journey in 1910, when we first saw her. She's like 15 years old, and she's completely rejected her father's science pirate lifestyle. Her father wants her to inherit his mantle and continue his mission. She rejects it completely, in 1910. I won't go into the event. She has a complete change of heart, and she embraces it, and she embraces the captaincy and becomes somewhat regal. Regal through it, and that regality, if that's the correct word, continues and grows as she grows older. So these three books are three fun-filled romp snapshots from three different parts of her life. The first one was in the mid-20s when she's in her early 30s, and it's interesting. I think that Alan Moore thinks that does the early part of one's life at 30, because I think once you get about 60, you think nothing really significant happens until your 30s. Which I kind of hear. This book is set how many years old? It's about 15, 16 years later. At the end of the last book, Heart of Ice, the last book was really the voyage into H.P. Lovecraft's Mountain of Madness. But much more importantly for the character of Janny, it's where she falls in love with what will be the love of her life, Jack Arrowhead. And you just see it in like a few panels towards the end of the book, as their hands touch. And this is essentially the end of their relationship. Lots of spoilers. The end of this incredible romance. So you're just seeing like the after image of it, and it's so incredibly interesting storytelling and compelling storytelling, because it's just really about this woman. So now it's about 15 years later. She's in her mid-40s. At the end of the last book, there was a little text story by who was it? Hindi Johnson, this this socialite writer, and it's that's in 1938 when she was there for the marriage of Janny and Jack's daughter. What's her name? She marries Jean Robert, the son of the Sky Pirate, from more literature that I've never heard of. So it's an incredibly strong meeting of families. You have the Nemos are the science pirates who control the underseas, and the Robert controls the air. And this book again takes place in 1941 in the First World War. Nemo freely attacked the Allies and the German forces. Equally, she wanted to be an equal opportunity pirate. But now, as France was at war with Germany under the reign of Herr Henkel. Herr Henkel was Charlie Chaplin's parody of, I'm not going to say his name, the leader of the German National Socialists from the 1930s. But again, this is just an incredible fiction verse of the world of this fictional universe of all our fictions melded together throughout, chronologically through time, which is really interesting. So let me just zoom in here. This little sign on the side of the plane. This is from Charlie Chaplin's movie where he plays Hinko. And again, this is the parody of, I'm not going to say the names of the National Socialist Germans of the 1930s. And it's got that like 1930s Germanist what's the word? Expressionist, futurist kind of like vibe to it. Fine, so let's start going through it. Now, how much you'll like this trilogy of books, which again, I really strong recommend. Three fun-filled romps from three moments in this incredibly interesting woman's life that paints a picture of an entire life, and it's really doing that. It's really quite lovely. So but it all depends on how much you're going to enjoy it, because there's really very little not to enjoy in these. Is how much you like Kevin Neal's artwork. I like it a lot. I grew up with it. He did a strip called Nemesis the Warlock in 2000 AD, the comic I read when I was a young nipper. So I grew up with him. I like it. I can totally understand. A lot of people just they disconnect from his style altogether. It's fun. It's kinetic. It's very comedic, which again I just really enjoy, because I think Kevin Neal, bottom line, just has a good sense of humor. Fine, so let's go. You get inside the book, you get a couple of these nice painterly front pieces. This is a German Ministry of War propaganda piece showing out how terrible that the Nemos are. She's sinking a poor supply ship. I don't think she would do that. Captain Nemo, wuschen Schrackbrat und Schlachter. So this is So I actually got kind of annoyed with. There's a few pages of dialogue which is completely in German, and there's no like subtitles. And I went online. I figured, oh, somebody's got to translate this. No, couldn't find it anywhere at all. I had to use Google Translate, which I didn't. You didn't really need to. I'm just kind of obsessive that way because I've worked out the trick with really enjoying this is read every freaking thing that Alan Moore gives you because he's building a universe. Although in these books he's really not. In these books he's just having pure fun using a bunch of fiction from the world from a particular time setting. And this is quite a nice image. So again, the character Janny is very austere. She's very regal. She's very commanding, and to see her in an embrace of them, it just shows like a real tenderness within her because you don't really normally see her that way. And so again, you're seeing this incredible, this love of her life, but you're seeing it as an after image because you really get seeing the beginnings and the end. Plenty of spoilers for this review all the way through. I'm assuming that that you know some of the history, or you haven't. But if you haven't read it, it really doesn't matter if I'm going to spoil it because it's just really the romp of the journey and trying to pick out what literary thing and what media thing is Alan Moore talking about. So it opens up with Herr Hinkle in Africa in 1941. And again, this is one of the infuriating pages. They do purely in German, but it really didn't, didn't add much. I mean, when I went to trouble translating, I could have enlarged a few of these pages because they're just so absolutely gorgeous. I really enjoyed it. This is a raid at the beginning of the book with Gianni and with Jack attacking the German forces, and I just love how crazy the pirates are. Like this woman is just biting him, and there's just like utter mayhem going on everywhere, like that head being blown off. A cutlass in the eye there, but and you always see like this very calm, austerity. So she's like a duck on water, throughout the whole thing. Fine. So the raid continues, but she finds out during the raid. Don't let me shrink this down again. This is going to be inconvenient because there are a lot of double page spreads in this because there's again a lot of like German futurist of like 1930s kind of stuff, which involves two page spreads. So during this raid, they find out that their daughter and Jean Robert have been captured by the Germans, by Hinkle's forces, in this like massive sky pirate plane, like air ship thing. that they and then capture. So she's like, I'm not doing anything. She just goes straight. Her and Jack go straight to Berlin, where we are two insane science pirates who are going to raid perhaps one of the most impregnable fortresses of might and military strength in the world at the time, and they have no qualms at it because they're getting their daughter back, and that's just what's going to happen. So they get there and they find it's all a setup. It's all a setup to capture exactly them. And the rest of much of the rest of the book is a bit of a romp through the Berlin of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. So the only thing I can really recognize from this in terms of culture, in terms of literature, in terms of film, is Metropolis. It's Metropolis is coming out because that is just so German. There's also, you get a bit of a feeling of Flash Gordon in the design, like the 1980s Flash Gordon, because that harkens back to the 1930s Flash Gordon, which is all very German, futurist, expressionist. If I'm using the right phrases, and so much of it is like just a weird voyage through Germany of the 30s as they try not to get caught. I just love these little expressions they have of this is Jack like trying to read a map, trying to work out what's going on, and there's so much richness going on in each one of these panels. I do like the way that Kevin O'Neill makes buildings like anthropomorphized to look like people. So they meet the German League, which is headed by this woman in blue called Maria. And again, if you see Metropolis, you know exactly who she is. She is the robot from Metropolis, a quite famous one, who went on to inspire C-3PO. So again, lots of running around through 1930s Berlin in our planet's fiction verse, and again you just see this the insane automation of everything in Germany at the time, and they stop off in one of the Joy Division sex clubs, and interesting, which it's really fascinating. They capture it in like just these 2 pages is like the real joylessness, the real cold antisepticness of like weird, creepy German porn, which you see quite a lot of in this as they go around, and then they find out what's really going on. This is Aisha, the villain from the first book. They raided her in the first book, and I guess we were 1925 ish. So this is a good like 18 years later, and this is she who must be obeyed. She has a pool in Africa which you bathe in, you live forever, and she rules absolute. And there's an alliance between Hinkle and Aisha. And the only thing that the only demand that she makes for this alliance, which is obviously very important for Hinkle, I guess the beginning bit in German is them going to find her and meet her, is that she really, really wants Nemo. She really wants Nemo because she's very mad that she stole her stuff like 18 years ago, and she's super pissed about it. So again, so they find out that Jean Robert is where he's being held captive, and they go and rescue him. Again, lots of action, lots of inside. These things just rattle along. They're about 50, 60 pages long. They rattle along nicely, and you actually feel kind of smart reading it, because it's not like, because you get to see all this there's tons and tons of literature that just culture that's just flowing through Alan Moore's brain as it all amalgams into one thing. And then you have this life-changing moment where they got to split up, and so Jack valiantly sacrifices himself to let his wife Janny, Nemo, and Jean Robert, their son-in-law, escape to so they have at least a hope of finding their daughter, hopefully alive somewhere. So this is like the beginning of that final battle, and it really is. It goes very quickly, but it's very, very it's very emotional. You are genuinely carried over with the drama of it. So, and the denouement is that the daughter was never captured. She stayed behind, and she repaired the how would you describe this weird aircraft thing, this like a precursor to a shield carrier, and she swoops in and saves the day. But alas, too late to save her father and the love of Jana's life, as they go insane, and they destroy just so much of Germany's forces, leaving just the boss fight the boss fight at the end with Aisha. I love the storytelling in this panel. Like you see all the robots falling apart, and then behind it's very cinematic, which you get with a lot of Alan Moore's work. So you have this incredible final showdown between Aisha and Nemo, and she eventually says, "Fine, I'll give you what everybody wants. I'll give you the location of my pool in Africa, so you can bathe in it and live forever." And you just get this really incredible character moment, which she goes, "Without Jack, without a husband," and this is the after image of this incredible romance that you see, which you don't see any of it. And again, it's just such an incredible testament to really, really, really strong writing that it carries it through so well. So she offers her the pool, and says, "Without Jack, it would like, why on earth, would I ever do that? Like why? Why would I want to live forever without the love of my life?" And the response is just priceless. I'm going to zoom in on a bit. She said, Aisha goes, "Who's Jack?" to which boom, her head just gets lopped off by Gianni. Yeah, bit of a spoiler for tomorrow's review for River of Ghosts. This is not the last time you see Aisha. And it basically just that basically wraps up the whole thing. There's another text story from the mid-60s, also written by a much older now Hindi Johnson. This is the 70th birthday of Captain Nemo of Gianni. So, and it's basically a precursor to the next book, which is set in the mid-70s. I think the early 70s. I think the early 70s, which we'll be talking about tomorrow. But yeah, again, really, really well written, fun, entertaining romps. You really can't go wrong. These are just such a strong recommend, and I think they're such strong recommend because they just work on so many levels. It works as a romp. It works as like a exploration of our own culture, of humanity's culture throughout this century, and a little bit more, and it works as a love story, but it works most as a really interesting sketch of this incredible woman's life, Captain Nemo's daughter, Jenny Nemo. So yeah, strong recommend. Come back tomorrow for the review of the final one. Let's see, another 20-minute review. I'm glad I broke this into three videos. Totally deserved it. My name is My name is Sela Beckin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.